When we talk about the cultures of Southeast Asia, which ones come to mind? Well, perhaps Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand for sure, but what about Southern India? Stick around, I'll explain. I'm Thomas Robson, and this is Entree to Asia. You don't have to be here for very long before you realize that India, southern India in particular, has had a strong influence on the cultures of Southeast Asia. Now in Malaysia, it's most apparent in the food, especially when it comes to snacking. We thought we would explore the city and see the sights and sounds around Kuala Lumpur. We dined al fresco, having a little bite of this and a little bite of that from the stalls and small restaurants wherever we went. In short, KL is a great city for sightseeing, but also a real paradise for partaking in any number of tasty treats. Malays are very lucky. They can find almost anything on the street, even a variety of cold drinks and snacks served over shaved ice any time of the day. Roti canai is a traditional Indian flatbread popular at breakfast with hot tea. The dough is stretched by hand rather than being rolled, a rather tricky process. Another version is filled with egg and other ingredients. It's called murtabak. These popular flatbreads are cooked on a hot griddle and then eaten plain or spread with sweetened condensed milk. In another option, the roti canai is chopped up and then doused with a mild curry. Comfort food at its best. Hot coffee, Ovaltine, and tea are served milky and sweet. Real aficionados insist that the tea be pulled or poured from one cup to another in order to make it frothy. This guy is an expert. Traditional chapati must be carefully rolled to a uniform thickness in order to ensure that they will puff up like a balloon when cooked. It takes practice to be able to regulate the heat and the timing of the cooking to make perfect chapati.
Declare the 15th Commonwealth Games open.
fantastic to be here in British Columbia. Having a great time meeting all the different people from all around the different lands, all our brothers and sisters. It's given us a chance to talk to different people, learn a little bit about each other's cultures and realise that we've all got a lot of things in common. We've never, as a group, been to Canada before. Perhaps we were a little bit surprised at the reception and the openness and the friendliness of the people.
They came to test their nation's sporting prowess against their Commonwealth cousins. But they also came to share their rhythms and their folklore, their customs and culture, to share who they are as a people and to discover the same in return. From 48 different countries and cultures, they came to the friendly games. Nations from the furthest reaches of the globe, from the old world of Europe, from the Americas, Africa, Asia, from the antipodes, and from the soft, far-flung shores of the wide Pacific Ocean. And the crowds joined them as night after summer night, the world's music shared one stage. The 10 days of the festival were to provide an entrancing experience of sounds and sights, of a veritable smorgasbord of world culture and performing arts. And by the time the show was over, some 500,000 British Columbians and visitors were to share in this cultural celebration.
magic sound when the band starts to play. And if you want to have a thrill you'll not forget, come to the big top today. Yes, if you want to have a thrill you'll not forget, come to the big top today.
Jacques Lemay, artistic director and producer of the opening ceremonies for the Victoria Commonwealth Games.
Next one, 3, line up. Who's 3? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 3.
For 2 years, he's worked to knock the world off its feet. Today's the day. 4,000 performers and a little good weather will make it happen or not.
We got major problems. I mean, we haven't started one thing.
There are a lot of artistic directors in the country, and they work in different milieux. Not that many work in outdoor spectacles made for television.
This is the most ambitious project any of us have attempted, I think, on this scale.
I want you to feel proud. Hopefully, you know, we'll have a few goosebumps and a tear in your eye and the little, you know, heartstring being pulled.
But at this moment, no one, not even Jacques Lemay, knows for sure whether the magic will happen. Half an hour from now, he'll have the answer, and so will you. This is all that led up to that moment.
7 and 1. All right.
Jacques Lemay was a hero back in 1988 when he staged the opening ceremonies for the Calgary Olympics.
In our business, people say, well, you're only as good as your last gig. What's at stake for me personally? Obviously, your reputation. We're late in the south. Dancers, get off.
So the pressure is on Lemay to create a spectacle for Victoria that outshines not only Calgary, but the memories of Barcelona and Lillehammer as well.
One of the most challenging things is, and this is peculiar to all of these events, is to get the performers to understand the scope of the event, not only of the physical production, But the fact that you have 700 million people watching, the fact that there will be international security and heads of states from all around the world.
What does he think might hold the hearts of those millions of restless viewers? Enormous props, 12 meters high, brought to life by dozens of volunteers. Fragile, intricate, temperamental.
Our biggest concern is ultimately the weather. You know, wind, high gusts of wind, because we use a lot of fabric in the show. That's a concern.
Let's play hopscotch. Okay. Come on, guys. You can play too. Yeah, come on. Hopscotch.
Hi, I'm Charlotte Diamond.
I'm Joel. And I'm Brittany.
You've joined us at just the right time because we're getting ready to go to the Vancouver Children's Festival. Now we can all enjoy the music and dancing together.
Yeah, and then a little later, I'm gonna go backwards in time and ride a beautiful carousel. And then we'll learn how to stretch to music and have time for a story too. Boy, that's a lot of hopping around. Guess that's why they call the show hopscotch. And even in the 1920s, they got recess. And they played marbles, jacks, and skipping.
Boys and girls, what's your favorite game at recess?
Now it's time for a stretch on hopscotch.
Knees and toes, knees and toes, knees and toes, head and shoulders, knees and toes.
Hi, Virginia.
Why, hello, Joel, and hello, Brittany. How are you today?
Oh, good. What are you doing?
Well, I'm doing a little exercise to a song called Head and Shoulders, Knees and Toes. Would you like to try it with me?
Yeah.
Great. We're going to start.
Hey, you kids on the couch. Come on, stand up and do the exercise with us.
Okay, we're all going to start with our hands on our head. Head and shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes, knees and toes. Head and shoulders, knees and toes. Eyes, ears, mouth, and nose. Should we try it a little faster?
Yeah.
It looked like we all had it then.
Hey, you guys, you can do it even faster, too. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Hands on your head. Head and shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes, knees and toes. Head and shoulders, knees and toes. Eyes, ears, mouth, and nose.
Now let's do it
Should we try it really fast?
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys at home can do it, too.
That's right. We all have to have our hands on our heads, and we're all ready to go?
Yeah.
Really fast?
Yeah.
Head and shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes, knees and toes. Head and shoulders, knees and toes. Eyes, ears, mouth, and nose. Did you get them all?
Yeah. After all that music and movement, I'm kind of hungry. There's a mall in Richmond that has tons of great food from China.
This is Aberdeen Center.
What are these?
This is not a porcupine or a pineapple, it is a durian.
What is this?
Joel, these are lychee nuts and they're my favorites.
Is that a butcher shop?
Joel, these are barbecue sausage, barbecue duck, and roast pig.
What kind of buns are those?
This is a tattoo bao barbecue pork bun. This is a pineapple bun and the curry beef bun.
It's story time again at Hopscotch. I don't know about you, but I love stories. I can fly away and visit faraway places, but I never have to leave home. Here's our friend Blue Mankuma with No Such Thing as Far Away.
Hi. I'm going to read a story about a little boy who lives in Chinatown in Victoria. It's a beautiful little story. It's written by Laura Langston, and it's called No Such Thing as Far Away. For as long as Michael could remember, his mother sold jars and lamps and rings and things from a tiny store at the edge of Chinatown. They lived upstairs over the shop in a room with long, thin windows that let in the spicy smells of the pot stickers and chicken and snow from the restaurant across the street.
The Royal Winnipeg Ballet was founded in 1938 by Gwyneth Lloyd and Betty Farrelly, giving its first public performance in 1939 at a civic pageant before King George VI and Queen Elizabeth during their visit to Winnipeg. From 1946 to 1948, the company toured Eastern and Western Canada and were hosts in 1948 to the first Canadian Ballet Festival, which was held in Winnipeg. Recent highlights in the company's history include a command performance before their Royal Highnesses Princess Elizabeth and the Duke of Edinburgh, and the granting of a royal charter by Her Majesty the Queen in February of 1953. In June of 1954, disaster struck. The company lost most of its property, including costumes, scenery, and the written choreography to most of its ballets in a fire which swept its premises.
Head left and fondu.
Everyone who is here because they're committed to dance.
The Royal Winnipeg Ballet is a Canadian eclectic and individual company. The company aims to project to its audience vitality, clarity, daring, drama, humor, and versatility, true to the style of each ballet or choreographer.
50th anniversary season, you can definitely say that there's a style that the company has. And to be part of that, to watch that all being developed step by step by step, was quite really exciting.
One of the biggest things about the Royal Winnipeg Ballet that is so important to me is that it's not a pretentious company. It's a company that reaches out to its audiences and likes to include its audiences into, shall we say, the art form. They don't have their nose up in the air about what they do. They don't look down at people and say, well, you don't understand what we're doing. No, they dance from the heart.
Truth, integrity, and it's got to be for real. If it's for real, right from the heart, it'll go to the heart of the other person. And that's literally what the Royal Winnipeg Ballet is all about.
Goodbye, Granny.
Winnipeg, eh? Fellas like you don't put much store in a town like this. I got no patience with fellas who think a small town is just nothing. You take a city now. You could live in one of those places for 20 years, never get to know your next door neighbor. Trouble comes along, who's going to give you a hand? Not a soul.
As a matter of fact, I come from McConnell's Landing. Have you ever heard of it?
Yeah. I heard of it, all right. Presbyterians. Why'd you leave?
Oh, not much opportunity there. I had to seek my fortune, you know. Still seeking.
You'll be a tycoon yet.
You bet your life, kiddo. Times will change.
Not fast enough for me.
Why? Well, right smack after 1937, I bet there'll be 1938.
Haven't got your optimism.
Me either, but keep it under your hat.
What do you do?
Do? Oh, I'm with Reliable Loan Company right now. But I don't aim to stay there. I'd like to have my own business. Cars are what I'm interested in. But it's not easy to set up your own...
Timothy?
Loan company.
Please.
He works for a loan company.
For my sake?
Bloodsuckers! By the Lord Harry, I never thought the day would come when I'd sit down for a meal alongside one of those fellas.
Jimmy, ignore it.
After what we've been through...
Middling hardware right through the Depression.
Me and mine built this prairie.
Him and his sold the nails that built it.
I've had enough.
Timothy, don't you want your dessert? He doesn't eat dessert. It's his digestion.
But I thought this once, since it's strawberries, he shouldn't rock so soon after eating. It's his digestion. Oh, Edna, I'm so sorry.
Graffiti on the walls.
Anyone in there?
Busted plaster, garbage all over this dump. Vermin, I'm telling you, nothing but human vermin. Wreck every place they go into. Worse than rats and roaches, some of these welfare types. Honest to God, I'll be glad to be dealing with decent people after this.
Who's there? Sheriff's Officer Barney R. Quigley. I'm here to serve you.
Come on in, Sheriff. I've been sort of expecting you, boys.
I'm here to serve you.
Have a beer, boys.
An eviction order, effective in precisely 13 minutes.
I said, have a beer, boys. And that weren't so much your offer as your basic command. I guess I ought to take that before someone gets hurt. Step inside, gents. The party's just getting underway. Make yourselves to home.
At this point, we have only sketchy details. A city policeman, the sheriff's officer, and the owner of this horror area building have been taken hostage. The hostage taker has been tentatively identified as Hardy Mad Dog Bowers, a former heavyweight champion. He has apparently made some initial demands, but police are tight-lipped about the nature of those demands. Channel 9 has located one former tenant, Mr. Charles Sweal. Could you tell our viewers what you were just telling me?
About the car?
No, about the champ.
Oh, yeah. Well, like I was telling you, Andy, he was going around all day trying to get us to stay.
Us?
Well, me and the wife and the rest of us that was leaving.
And what was he doing all day?
Who?
The champ. The door.
Oh, yeah, the doors. Like I see him taking this door off his hinges, see? And then he drags it down the hall. And the next thing, bang, bang, bang. Hey, where you going? I was telling you about the door.
Mr. Doan! Ladies and gentlemen, this is Pappy Doan, well-known columnist for the Clarion. Are you going in, Pappy?
As a matter of fact, I am, Miss Morgan.
You never had no intention of turning this dump into condominiums, did ya?
I took out a building permit. You check with the city.
I'm checking with you. You never was gonna do it, was ya? Condominiums.
Condominiums. Read my lips.
Read mine, pig. All you was ever gonna do was boot us out, board this place up, and let it rot, right? And then when a city comes along wanting to extrapolate, all of a sudden, it's not a flea bag sleepery they're extrapolating, but it's some fancy condominium and the asking price just doubles up, right?
So?
Right or not?
Well, what's it to you?
What's it to me? I'll tell you what it is to me. You wreck the lives of 50 or 60 people, friends and neighbors of mine, all so you can turn a buck. Nothing but vermin, right? Ain't no sweat off your back. City extrapolates, and you wind up with $500,000 in your pocket. Jump into your Mercedes and drive off laughing down to your country club, right? Now. Vermin, I'm telling you. Nothing but vermin. Wreck every place they go into.
We went through a red light.
It's all right, Mum. They let us.
Oh?
Oh, they're back from the funeral already. Is everything all set here?
We've got enough for an army.
I'll get the cream.
Well, let's take these out.
Grace? Oh, Grace, you shouldn't be in the kitchen. Come on out here, dear, and sit down.
What is she doing here?
That's what neighbors are for, dear.
That's right.
To help out at times like this.
I'm so sorry, Grace.
Sit down here, Mum.
Isn't this my house? Why am I being offered a seat in my own home? And I don't remember baking those cakes.
Drink this hot tea. It'll do you good. And have one of these sandwiches.
Come on, you've got to eat something.
I can't seem to swallow past this lump in my throat.
Oh, I know, dear. I brought a lemon roll. You didn't even put it out.
Where is it? Here it is. I'll cut it up myself. I could use another cream and sugar set out there. Oh, there's one up here. Oh, there's a lot more people here than I thought. Ooh, what do you think, Alice? I think you better wash this. Yeah.
John's going to put a board there between the fridge and the stove so things can't fall down. I'm going to cover it with Mac tack.
But Grace, John's...
Molly, Grace, you better come back and sit down. Oh, catch you, somebody!
Careful. He was young. I still loved him.
Let's go upstairs, Mum. I'll carry you up, Mum.
I can walk.
Lean on me, Mom.
Just have a rest. You'll feel better.
It's just now sinking in.
Sun's coming up.
Move
What?
to Winnipeg with me, Lindsay. Frankly, I think it's worth considering. You could get a job easy enough. Plenty of shops right around the university. And I could help you find a place, an apartment. And you could... There's a few clogs to work out here, but if you're someone with, well, you know.
What are you doing?
I'm kidding. I'm just kidding, of course. Well, don't tell me you took me seriously.
Donnie, you meant it.
Well, I'm sorry if you took me that way, but I was honestly joking.
I know you were serious.
I think so if you want, fine.
Oh, Donnie. Jeez. You mean you figure I could get hired on up at a store up there and...
Hypothetically. There's a whole range of shops and so forth. Boutiques, I'm talking.
And just work and get an apartment and...
See, I'll be there, eh? It's not like you won't know anyone.
We could meet for coffee.
Coffee? Hell, we could go for broke up there. There's so much to do. I'll take you to the theater and imagine being able to choose what movie you want to see instead of going down to the Lyric with the lint popping out of the seats. Lindsay, you could think about college. Take something you want. Night courses like...
In the dark? Oh, I can't drive in that city, never mind at night. Bob always takes the wheel when we go to Winnipeg. Bob... What am I talking about?
It's not that far-fetched, Lindsay. Okay, never mind the night courses. You could just work in a store.
If I'm just gonna work in a store, I might as well stay here.
Is that Bob's argument or yours?
How long you been thinking all this stuff up? Oh, no, I mean it. It's so adorable. Honest to God, that you'd actually think I'd leave Bob and go up to Winnipeg with... And then when you pretended you didn't mean it, it's so cute. You're a real sweetheart, Donnie.
What are you? You're just the same small-town girl you find so objectionable here. With one exception, they deserve respect. You don't. They're here because they want to be here. When they look out their windows, they see something that you don't. You look out yours like you expect something to happen. Well, nothing is ever gonna happen to you, Lindsay. You say you didn't leave because you didn't have the talent, the money, the brains. Lindsay, you didn't have the guts. And you wrapped it all up in this nice, not-so-neat package and called it a marriage.
Don't you say nothing about my marriage. Maybe I cared a little more about Bob than I did about leaving.
And maybe he cares a little bit more about staying than he does about you. What do you got to look forward to this winter, Lindsay? Going down to the rink to watch him play hockey like you watch him play ball all summer? Wake up. He's got no intentions of leaving. So you just keep dragging yourself into work every morning, Lindsay. Just keep leaning against that cash register. Just keep staring out that window all day, complaining about your life, but not doing anything with it.